Trenching for a sprinkler system is not always easy, but here are some tips that will make your job a lot easier, faster, and safer. Also, we'll talk about a good rule of thumb for trenching depth and how to handle roots, and a few other bonus tips along the way. Even when you do call for locates, private lines like this often don't show up or get marked. But this situation does emphasize one of my rules when I'm trenching, and that is, on older properties, I always assume that there's something not marked. So I slow down around the house. I am careful around places where I think there might be utilities. I try and walk around with the homeowner or someone who knows the property and try and get a feel of what may have happened. Also, look at any other structures on the property. There might be sheds or places where there was a garage, and those could have utilities running out to them. As you can see, when I'm trenching this particular spot in the yard, I'm going very, very shallow. I'm only a couple inches deep. And the reason for that is because right here is where the main line runs in from the city to the house. And after talking with the homeowner, he said that it wasn't buried very deep at all. Well, once some of these surprises were handled, the rest of the trenching went pretty smoothly and we were able to continue on the project. And if you do it right, you'll have a lot less headaches later. When it comes to depth of the trench, that does vary depending on the type of pipe, type of area that you're installing it, what other things you're running into like roots or pipes or anything like that. Also the size of pipe and size of sprinkler system. If you're only installing a swing pipe up to a sprinkler head, if you go 1.5 feet deep and then you have your sprinkler head, you're going to have a lot of extra swing pipe there and a better chance of that settling down below the grade. So there you might only have to go 6 to 8 inches, but that's only a short distance. On average, most sprinkler systems are 12 to 18 inches deep. And a good rule of thumb is using the trenching shovel. That's a good depth. That's right about 12 inches, depending on how much you've worn it down over the years. But that's right about the depth you need. And if you're within an inch or two, you're doing pretty good. Okay, now roots. You're gonna probably run into a lot of roots. Now, there's several options you can exercise when you run into roots with your trenching. So sometimes the roots are going to be really shallow, so you don't want to run your pipes over the top of those. So we'll go underneath. Then there's roots that are just too big to cut around or to cut through. So you're going to have to go over the top of those. Now, only go over the top of those if there's a sufficient amount of dirt that's going to go on top of it. Then there's another root that you're going to run into. So now this root is just kind of at the wrong spot. So it's not quite deep enough to go over. And if I go underneath it, I can do that, but it's going to be annoying if I have to repair it later. And it's a small enough root, as you can see here, that we can just cut it. There we go. Also, when it comes to cutting roots, you do want to be careful not to cut too many because it can damage the tree, but also be aware of your surroundings. So there's a small root right here that I'm going to cut, but I know that it comes from this stump right here. So if I cut it, it's not going to kill it. It'll be fine. Okay, now here's a spot where there's a big mess of roots, only a couple inches from the top of the surface. So going over this would be a bad idea. So in this case, we're going to go underneath it. We'll just pass the pipe right through here. We tunneled underneath. Now, if you do have to go over a root or a pipe or something, there's something you need to be careful of. It's actually deep enough that we can go over because we're probably about 12 inches here. But here's that old galvanized pipe. So we could go underneath it if you feel comfortable with that. But then if you have to do any repairs, that could be a problem. So in this case, we'll go over it. But there's something to remember when you're going over something hard like this and you're using any kind of pipe. If you were to put a soft pipe, even PVC, over a hard line like that, and then anything were to put downward pressure on it, it's going to bend it or break it. So you don't want to go directly over that. You want to leave a little bit of padding with dirt or sand or whatever. But then also too, kind of make it even as you go over the pipe, so you don't have a low trench, tall pipe, and then low trench again, because that'll just bend it right over. What you want to do is kind of bring it up gradually so it's nice and easy, Give it a little bit of padding there, and then that way you won't have to deal with a bent, broken pipe later. Okay, so here we go. We don't want to have this drop off right here, so we'll kind of ease this up, put some more in it, make sure we got a little gradual slope over that. So now it's nice and easy curve over the top of that hard pipe. And really, it's little tips like this that might seem like details, but they're going to save you headaches, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you time down the road. So why did I trench it like this? Why not do a loop or a cross? Well, it's easier for maintenance if you put a T in the lateral line and then give it some space and put another T with an end fitting at the end of the pipe. This will save headaches later. Sometimes when you're trenching, you have to hand dig. And when you hand dig, it can get stuck on roots or the sidewalls. So lean the shovel back just a little bit and then lift it all the way up. It becomes easier. And this sprinkler system was a large 6-zone sprinkler system with 3 different valve boxes located around the yard, and also a wire that ran around to another part of the yard. So there's quite a bit of area to cover. And I was able to, once I start cutting to when I finished cutting the trenches, was about an hour and 15 minutes. So including picking up the trailer, picking up the trencher, cutting all the trenches, and loading it back up and dropping it off, it was right about 2 hours. And that's the benefit to planning ahead, walking the property with a homeowner if possible, mentally going through where everything's going to be, and think how it's going to be installed, so then you're not adding more work to yourself later, or cutting trenches or not cutting trenches that you need to or don't need to.